Utah Senator Mike Lee joins me now. So you have an idea we're hearing. What is it?
I've got an idea. Look, Jesse, it wasn't Congress that did this. It was four people, four guys. I call it the law firm of Schumer, McConnell, Johnson, and Jeffries. This whole debacle was avoidable. It was preventable, foreseeable. In fact, it was foreseen and warned of. But these guys are falling into the same rut that they've been in for a long time, which is the firm, as I call it, negotiates a spending bill in secret, releases it just hours or days before we're supposed to leave for the Christmas holidays, and inevitably it's full of garbage. And that's what happened.
Wait, so you're saying, hold on, just back up. So you're saying these four people, you're saying Jeffries, Johnson,
Schumer, McConnell, Johnson, and Jeffries, the firm.
Okay,
They did this.
Okay, McConnell and Schumer, they cooked this up for the last 85 days in secret, dropped it on everybody Wednesday, and this is where we are.
Yes, and it has failed. It's failed miserably because the American people are awake. They have access to X, they have access to Water's World, they have access to information and to apps that will help them quickly digest this information. This does not work. It's an historic moment. It's fallen apart. And as a result, somebody's going to have to lose their job over this. I don't think the Speaker is going to remain in power. That's my prediction. I'm not in the House. If I'm correct in that, and I think I am, we need bold new leadership, outside leadership, and I think it needs to be a Doge Speaker. It needs to be either Vivek Ramaswamy or it needs to be Elon Musk. Look, I was over here a couple weeks ago, House and Senate Republicans for a Doge caucus meeting. I've never seen, we're like, herding cats, Republicans on Capitol Hill. Never seen so much attention, so much respect for two people in our entire caucus in the Senate and in the House.
So you're officially nominating right here on Jesse Watters Primetime, either Vivek or Elon to be House Speaker. Doesn't have to be a politician, could be anyone, can be Speaker. Do they want that job?
I don't know. Look, I'm a little bit skeptical. Elon is kind of busy. He's got like 54 companies that he's running and trying to get to the moon. I suspect Vivek is a little bit more open to it than Elon. I'll take either one of them. Vivek, Elon, if you're watching, please sign up. America needs you.
All right. Well, I don't think Johnson likes you now. Next time you guys see each other walking through the halls of Congress, he's going to probably kick you in the leg.
He is a good man. He's a friend. He's been a friend for a long time. Great person. He's lost control of this process. And I don't know how he can remain in power. We need Elon or Vivek as Speaker.
He's a friend, and you just threw him overboard. Man,
yes,
politics is tough, Senator Lee.
Well, it is, especially when you try to jam an entire country with the 1,500-page bill that nobody's read, and you try to trick them and bully them into doing it. Some of us take that personally, Jesse.
Yeah, no, I don't like it either. I think it's terrible, and we got to stop doing it, and it's got to stop now. All right, Senator Mike Lee, we'll see how it shakes out. We'll let you know what Vivek or Elon say.
Thank you.
Fox News alert, the deadline. The deadline to avert a government shutdown is midnight tonight, Eastern time. But a spending deal still looks out of reach as Democrats and Republicans play the blame game.
Aisha Hasni is live on Capitol Hill. Hey, Aisha.
Hey, good morning to you, Lawrence. I am keeping my eyes on the Speaker's office just down the hallway from me because there might be some activity here in the next hour. I'll tell you about that in just a second. First, I want to get to what President-elect Donald Trump is thinking right now. Is not moving from his position after the bill imploded last night. He was actually up at 1 o'clock in the morning writing this on Truth Social. Take a look. He writes, Congress must get rid of or extend out to perhaps 2029 that ridiculous debt ceiling. Without this, we should never make a deal. Remember, the pressure is on whoever is president. Now, despite Trump and Elon Musk endorsing this 100-page skinny CR, 38 House Republicans still voted against it. They said they did not offset raising the debt ceiling. They weren't happy with that. Johnson needed Democratic votes, but leader Hakeem Jeffries came out last night, and he said he wasn't going to play ball.
The Musk-Johnson proposal is not serious. It's laughable. Extreme MAGA Republicans are driving us to a government shutdown.
So now President-elect Trump, J.D. Vance, Speaker Johnson, pretty much every Republican is trashing the Democrats.
The Democrats just voted to shut down the government, even though we had a clean CR, because they didn't want to give the president negotiating leverage during his first term, or during the first year of his new term. And number two, because they would rather shut down the government and fight for global censorship. They've asked for a shutdown, and I think that's exactly what they're going to get.
Okay, so the question is, what is next? Apparently, it is back to the drawing board for Speaker Johnson.
What's the play tomorrow?
What's the plan?
Stay tuned. Well, we keep hearing that. You gonna run another bill tomorrow, though? We'll see.
Okay, so apparently Punchbowl is reporting that the Speaker and J.D. Vance might be meeting with House Freedom Caucus members, and one more person in the room, it's very interesting, would be Trump's OMB director, the nominee for that, Russell Vought. He's been on the Hill working the senators through his confirmation process, so he is here in Washington, D.C., and apparently, again, according to Punchbowl News, those four parties will be meeting in the Speaker's office this hour. I will keep my eyes peeled. I'll get over there right now and bring you any news at the top of the 8 o'clock.
Right. Thank you, Aisha. I was reading in Punchbowl as well. Back to Aisha for just a moment regarding the incoming OMB guy. Aisha, Punchbowl has a note and talks about how he will be arguing. Okay, they've got to extend the debt limit. You know, they've got to lift it. But it was when Kevin McCarthy in 2023 was Speaker, he actually led the opposition. He's saying, we can't give them this. And now he's saying, you got to give us this. And undoubtedly, the House Freedom Caucus is going to bring that up with him.
Absolutely, they're going to bring it up. In fact, Kevin McCarthy's name has been brought up several times in the last 24 hours because this is pretty much, I mean, this is deja vu. People have been watching this and thinking this is exactly what happened to Kevin McCarthy. At the end of the day, he tried to throw things on the floor that didn't fly with his own conference, and eventually he didn't want to see the government shut down, so he put a clean CR on the floor. It passed with Democratic votes, which is exactly what Speaker Johnson needs right now to avert a government shutdown. So that's the crisis that Speaker Johnson finds himself in. And he doesn't want to lose his speakership. Remember, that's the next thing that's coming up in just less than a month. He has to run for speaker again. And he doesn't want to go through what Kevin McCarthy went through.
Aisha, what are the chances that the government will shut down? Because I know there are a lot of conservatives that are now demanding 3 days. Once they get the new bill, they want 3 days to read it.
That's not going to happen, Ainsley. I think the 72-hour rule is out the window at this point, and people are probably okay with that. Regular order is just out the window. I think the longer we wait, the longer this goes, and it's looking to be probably a mini shutdown. They can still get this done sometime this afternoon. We don't have a floor schedule yet. We don't know when the first votes are going to be. So if they can crank something out in the Speaker's office this morning and get something on the floor this afternoon, then it's really up to the Senate to whiz this through as quickly as possible tonight. They'll stay as long as it takes.
Normally, you get a sense of who thinks they benefit from a shutdown and who's going to get the blame. I get the sense that both sides are just unmoored by this whole thing. There's no
appetite for a shutdown. Yeah. This is not good for any party. I mean, because the opposing party will blame you for it, and that's exactly what's happening right now. The only person that might be okay with the government shutdown might be Elon Musk, because this actually speaks to why if you have part of the government shutdown, then it speaks to why, you can get rid of parts of the government that aren't very important. So, with his work in Doge, his and Vivek Ramaswamy's. But no, it's not good, politically speaking, for either party to see a government shutdown, even for a few days.
Although you do enjoy getting up and doing this breaking news with us in the morning. So
I love you guys.
We benefit. Yeah.
We appreciate it, Aisha.
Thank you.
I found myself conflicted with this debate. I have been one that has advocated for regular order. I feel like we should have the 12 appropriation bills, but you're negotiating with half of the government. I mean, you only have the House. Right. And so it gets to the point, you have no leverage. You don't have that much leverage to say that you want regular order when you don't have full control. I think it's much different when you have the presidents and you have the Senate and you promise that to the voters. So, I mean, you got to eventually say yes to something.
I'm going to give you a sports analogy that I think is going to benefit the country.
Okay, let's hear it.
You might know football, but you're not in the huddle. Elon Musk is not in the huddle. Vivek Ramaswamy is not in the huddle. So as they're calling the play and they're dealing with all different kinds and in opposition, it might be easy to sit on the outside and go, this is so clear what play to call. But you do not know what it's like actually doing the deal with so little power and leverage. So you could say, yeah, right, that shouldn't be in. Yeah, that shouldn't be in. But you know what is in? Because that's in this, and this. So they came back and they restructured at the last minute. The only criticism would be, could you have not done this earlier? Couldn't you have not done this in October or right after the election?
Right. Because just before we had Speaker Johnson on 2 days ago, Elon Musk at 4:15 in the morning said, you can't pass this bill. And that was the beginning of the end.
Huddle.
Right. He was not in the huddle. The question is, who was he huddling with? According to the Speaker, he was huddling with him. Obviously, Elon Musk and Donald Trump can kill a bill. They said kill that bill because they wanted the new one that had the lifting of the debt ceiling, because Donald Trump doesn't want that. So going forward, there are a couple of different options. They say today, the plan B from yesterday, they could actually vote on that again today. It probably would fail again. Also, Speaker Johnson could meet with Jeffries. Okay, what's it going to take to get some buy-in from the Democrats on this? They could drop the debt ceiling requirement that Donald Trump has put out there, and that's the reason they lost 38 Republicans yesterday, or just have a 1 or 2 week CR. Just kick the can until the end of the year, the 1st of January, after everybody goes and drinks a lot of eggnog.
There are about 30, my sources are telling me 30 individuals that will never support CU. There are 30 individuals that will never support getting rid of the debt ceiling. So it's going to be very difficult to pass if you put those in. The original, I love that picture that Elon posted where you've got the big stack. It was 1,500 pages. Now it's 116 pages. But Ralph Norman was on Fox and Friends First earlier, and he said not enough time to read it, A, and then threw in the debt limit at the last minute. He had a problem with that. He said we can have a limited, there's the picture. That's the first bill, and then now that's the revised one on the right. He said we can't have a limited shutdown, which means it wouldn't affect our military. It wouldn't affect TSA workers because a lot of people are traveling today and into next week.
They just don't get paid.
And Chip Roy said it still spends too much money. He said it's $110 billion unpaid for, and he has a problem with that. Too much pork.
Well, let's shut it down then. But I just hope that when they do have full power, that there's some sort of plan. I'm all for a fight. I'm all for giving the voters what you promised them. But if they have full control and we're still at this same point, we were talking about the Elon Musk thing, but there were the moderates and the conservatives that were opposed to that bill that was originally the first CR. So after Elon got involved, there were more people that came to the table. Now we have just the conservative wing of the party that is upset about the spending, while Democrats are in control of half of the government.
So the last thing Elon Musk put out is this. First of all, I'm not the author of this proposal. Credit Trump, Vance, and Speaker Johnson. That was before it went down. And I would say this. Don't think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are not on the same page.
They're on the same page.
So they're not working against each other.
Right.
That's what Elizabeth
They're
wanted.
in the huddle, Brian.
To do it. Thank you. So you were accepted. Wait. Ainsley, will you accept my sports analogy?
I got that one. I understand what that one means. You kept it simple for me. You didn't go into too much detail.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So thank you for speaking to everybody out there.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.